Dr. Brooks, we're speaking to gamers right now, and we're speaking to parents of gamers. And so I would really love for both of them to be highly served through this show. Let's start with the gamers, and what do they need to be aware of in their lives, where some of the, I don't know if there would be triggers, but some of the samples that they can see that are right in front of them, that they may be going down a road where they need to check and find more truth in the matter, and be realistic about where they're actually at.
I think in general, there is disturbance. And when there's disturbance, that's a problem. Like if you're angry, or you're really sad, or you're feeling despair for whatever reason, you lost a game. Your parents said, no, you've already been on it an hour and a half. You're not going to have another 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Or let's say your parents can't afford the upgrade, so you got to stick with last year's version. Or you were left out of a group play, right? Your friends didn't invite you. You were excluded. I mean, there's just 100 different ways that disturbance can occur. And that's the negative emotional feelings that you want to be aware of. And one thing that I teach kids all over the country and with my videos all around the world is no one makes you angry. No one makes you sad. No one upsets you. I know it seems that way, but it's actually you in your processing of what happened to you. That's where the disturbance is. Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher, said it's not what happens to you that disturbs you, but your interpretation of it. And Solomon said, as a man thinks in his heart, so he is. So there's this mental processing. Dr. Albert Ellis from Rational Emotive Behavioral Therapy, he said, A, B, C. If you can explain this to a kid, they're going to be more emotionally intelligent than most kids. A is the activating event, the big bummer, right? You just lost the game. C, you have an emotional consequence. That's what C stands for. It's usually rage or anger. You're devastated at it because your hopes were really up, and now you're let down.
Is that rage quit?
You think that losing the...
In essence, I heard you say rage quit.
Rage quit. Yeah, that's just like, you forget it. And the person rage quits because he's got rage. That's the emotional consequence. But he stupidly thinks that losing the game actually caused that emotion. Or let's say someone was cheating, because there's all kinds of kids that cheat, and they're like 400 or 500 yards away on Fortnite, and they shoot you with a sniper, and it's an absolute perfect hit, and now you're out, and you don't even know where that person was. That's a cheat code. And so you're like, no fair, right? You think that person made me angry. But what I always focus on, and every good counselor focuses, is not on the A, what happened to you, the activating event, not on the C, what is the feelings you have, but on the B, what is your belief system about what happened? So that's the, and there are two types of belief
in between.
Yeah. Belief system is what processes the activating event. What happened to you? And based on your belief system and your belief system alone, that determines your emotional consequence. And so you're either rigid and demanding, that must not, ought not, should not, better not happen to me, or flexible and indifferent. I wish that didn't happen, but whatever, it's all good. So we try to teach students to give up the grip of their irrational demands about what must or should happen to them or not happen to them, and be more flexible in their mindset to be able, where they could have desire but not demands. And so that little shift, and that's what we do throughout the entire course of Good Gamer, we try to shift and cure the child of their tendency to be offended because of the rigidity of their demands.
That is pretty fascinating.
Amazing.
So when they do rage quit, why is it some kids do while others don't? Like what sets that difference? Is it really that some are indifferent and some put all their value into that? Is that kind of what you're saying?
The way to find out the answer to that question is to ask the child who just rage quit, did you rage because of your own, like you're upset with yourself? Did you rage quit because you're upset with someone else? Or did you rage quit because life is super like unbearable at the moment, right? For whatever reason. And based on his answer to that, and sometimes it's multi-layered like a Venn diagram, but based on his answer, that will tell me exactly why he rage quit. If he was saying, I'm just mad at myself, it's because he failed to perform perfectly well. He's a perfectionist. Or because of his failed performance, he's not getting approval from people he deemed to be important. And so this could be, maybe it would affect his outcome, his stats, so that all of his friends could see he's got 100 kills or 150 kills. So he doesn't want to finish the game, so that it doesn't preserve the record. And so he's insecure about his rejection from other people because of his poor performance. And if he's mad at someone else, it's because of a fairness construct that he's built in his mind. You must play according to my rules or the rules of the game that have been established. And if you are not playing by those rules, you deserve punishment. Yeah. Or if it's not fairness, it's blocked goals. I was trying to do something, but then you blocked my goals. You took me out of the game. Now I hate you because of that. Okay. Those are primarily the issues.
So it sounds like everything you just said. I have a plan, and if you don't abide by it, there's going to be serious issues. Or you caused me from not succeeding, so now there is also going to be serious issues that will not serve well in real life at all.
Tim, right when I think sometimes you're not tracking with me, you nail it like a home run.
No, I get told that all the time, Brooks, and we know each other well enough. Thank you for saying that. I get told that in elder meeting all the time at my church. So, I thought you weren't listening, man. Bam! Well, I was listening to every single word. But
you were. But that's exactly right.
I'm definitely listening, man. So one of the things that I saw in what you guys stand for, which I really appreciated a lot, it was the antithesis of the record burning in the 70s when you came to Jesus, you had to burn all your records, 70s and 80s. It's the antithesis of that. This is a much more realistic and honest approach where boys like Hayden and the many like him who are young in this context, and you have parents, instead of setting up the structure of no games, instead of no rock and roll, it's all in moderation, and you set a context for them. So I really liked that. Will you tell me? I don't doubt that came from wisdom and came from you talking to many people in your life and things and helping many people. Can you unwrap that a little bit about how you guys aren't here to completely unplug, but to give better parameters of operating within it? Because like you said in your introduction, it was originally created to bring joy, and then it brings the exact opposite, like many lies that the enemy can sell us. So would you?
Right. It's not legalistic, and that's what we want to be aware of. God is a big gift giver, and he gives us the desires of our heart. And one of the great desires is games and play. And play is good. The playful state is the greatest state for learning. There's actually innumerable amount of skills that can be learned in the gamer world that if you're not in that world, you're going to miss out on. And it's incredible. Hand coordination, for example, Dr. Ben Carson was saying kids that are hardcore gamers would make great surgeons because of the hand-eye coordination. And they should really consider that because most of the stuff is robotic now anyways. And so it would kind of bend towards their desires. There's coding and all that kind of stuff. That's the future of the world. I mean, it's just wonderful. And this was Brad Hunstable, Hayden's dad's desire. He says, I don't want to say games are bad. We just want to raise the competency of children to be able to endure the hardship that might come with games. And just like any athlete has to endure hardship, be able to not pull a muscle so he could stay in the game, not be a sore loser so he's demoted from captain.
And be set on recovery. Well, it takes time and effort and patience and to get less and more. I'm in a process of healing and to accept that as an athlete. You don't go out of the game. That's the last thing you want to do. You want to recover and get back in the game to be your best. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just couldn't help but the metaphor of being an athlete just kind of resonated there, where you are going to do all you can to do all you can, and playing by
right. In the champion mindset, right? Paul says, "Run the race to win." So you play to win. You don't play not to lose. You play to like crush the opponent to win. So with that comes a level of desire, right? In fact, an intense desire. The more competitive you are, the more your desire turns into deep desire, which turns into absolute demand that losing is not an option. Well, to the degree you demand something to win in this example, to that degree, you will be disturbed when you don't win, because there's no guarantee you will win. In fact, there's a good chance you won't win. So how do you bounce back? How do you recover? You know, if you win, you win. If you lose, you learn. And so in the Good Gamer certification, just like we would do a certification program for any athlete, we teach them how to rebound from losing, or kind of help them see the upside to every letdown. And I'll give you 3 questions real simple.
Okay.
And this is so transferable to any human when bummers happen.
Okay.
How could this have been worse is the first question we train kids to think through. Okay, it's a bummer, but it could have been worse. Yeah, maybe example, you could be like your friend whose parents doesn't even allow him to have a game console. Like, how awesome is that that's not your situation? Yeah, you lost this game, but at least you have a console to play games, right? It's just a bummer, but it's not a worse bummer. The second question is, why won't this matter in my future? You freaking lost a game. You broke your controller. You broke your monitor. You were a little humiliated, embarrassed because you got, killed early on in the game. Like, does that even matter in your future? The brevity of it is like laughable. It's like nothingness.
Yeah.
And then the third thing is, how could this turn out for my good? Paul, I believe, is also the one who says, he works all things together for our good to those who love him and are called according to his purposes. So there's this light affliction is but for a moment, and working in me a far and exceeding eternal weight of glory, and count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith, we're Bible guys, right? So the Bible only has one message, that in this life you will have trouble, but be of good cheer. I've overcome the world. There's good when there's bad, if you have the eyes to see the good and the bad. And so that's what we try to drill into the kids, to immediately rebound. So yes, have the desire. Yes, be competitive, but be able to rebound so that you avoid the dark, dangerous emotions that are out to really take you out.